All right, welcome to COPDEM People's Parliament. It's a pleasure to have you join us tonight, where we'll be having discussion around a number of national issues as they affect Nigerians. Ladies and gentlemen, this is COPDEM People's Parliament, where we have a discussion around national issues as they affect Nigerians. I remain Mr. Arthur Christian Ochoa, otherwise known as Due Process. And with me in the studio via Zoom is Mr. Davis Sunday, all the way from Kwara State. It's a pleasure to have you join me tonight, Mr. Davis Sunday, and we have yet another guest that has joined us, and I want us to unmute and introduce ourselves. Thank you. All right, straight off, the other guests who have in the studio, please, you can feel free to unmute and have yourself introduced. Thank you. All right, probably environment is not conducive for you to do that just yet. Mr. Davis, can you help us to read out the topics, starting with the episode for tonight's program on COPDEM People's Parliament? Thank you. Mr. Davis, can you confirm you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Yeah, clear. Are you hearing me?
Please read out the topics.
Yeah, the episode. Tinubu sink Nigeria into multidimensional foreign debts and poverty. Trendy stories. 1. National Assembly approved $21 billion loan for Tinubu. Number 2, Akpabio bullies Natasha through federal might. 3, 2027, ADC Directorate of Mobilization Advanced World Structure building across the country. Number 4, which the last year, will be Tamboa tickets unsettled APC. Those are the topics for today.
Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, those are topics that we'll be looking into tonight. And is very stormy weather for the opposition angle, given the advent of the coalition that have just settled Tinubu in office. And we're always looking up to a coalition of the people that will resonate with the aspirations of Nigerians across the board. On this note tonight, we'll be taking a very critical look at a very, very disturbing news where Tinubu was reportedly at the National Assembly to request further loan to the tune of $21 billion for a country like Nigeria that has been bedeviled by multiple strain of loan, now making further advances to further deepen the country into a very quagmire of loan burden is uncalled for. This called for national concern, and as a matter of fact, this is not a time to hold dear to political affiliation. This is not a time for shenanigans. It is a time for national sober reflection, given that our government is perpetually, increasingly sinking Nigerians into debt. Because when a country is in debt, it affects the economy of that country. It affects the bargaining power, that is the currency of that country. It leads to devaluation of the naira, which, of course, I don't know where else they are going to devalue the naira. As I speak, the naira is already over 1,600 to a dollar. Previously, during the 70s, we had a situation where the naira was much stronger than the dollar, $2 to a naira. Now, how do they move from $2 to a naira to 1,600 naira to a dollar? It's unimaginable, it is condemnable, and we cannot continue this trend of failure. That is why the young people, the young Nigerians, are rallying around candidates they feel is resonating with their dreams, their passion, their aspiration as a people. It is on this note also we'll be considering the coalition. Here, people are already anticipating the tickets of Peter Obi and Tambuwal tickets. And if you look at the tickets, it's a very clean, one can have a very clear understanding of where the hope of the young people are coming from. If you have listened to both political heavyweights in terms of Mr. Peter B. and Tambuwa, you have no choice than to embrace that ticket. However, I will leave the options for Nigerians to have their say, as they're already doing on X and several other social media platforms. Again, also, as part of topics that we'll be looking at today, is already out there in the public domain, and I believe you all have seen it. You are at liberty to limit your discussion to whichever topic that, it attracts your interest to deliberate upon. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to COPDEM People's Parliament. Feel free to to unmute and speak to the topic of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Christian Ako, aka Due Process. Thank you. Good evening. My name remains Comrade Edegbe Sunday, calling from Kwara State. The truth remains the truth. That what I keep saying is that it's not by force to rule the people. It's not by force to lead people. If you know you cannot do it, why going there? Why contesting in the first place that you want to be president or governor or whatever position in Nigeria? You know, now that you are there, the very day you came to office, you make announcements that fuel subsidy is gone. Since that very day, Nigerians begin, to suffer. Till this very moment, they are still in it. And the question I used to ask is that when you remove fuel subsidy, you remove it for a purpose, that so that the Nigeria can be able to save enough money to do things that we have not been able to do over the years. Infrastructure, every other thing that we are supposed to have used the money for. Now, how much, the question I keep asking, how much have they saved? How much have they accumulated through the removal of fuel subsidy? And now today, you went ahead, you are still continuing borrowing money, instead of you to pay what the ones we have been owing before. You continue borrowing till this very moment, putting more burden on Nigerians. You see, let me tell you, that shows that, like I have said before, and I will say it again, this government, I'm looking at it as a government of rascality. The people there, each and every one of them, let me say, 50% of the people there in that present government, they are the people that have one criminal case or the other over the years. And those are the same people that are here, that are still there today. Now, you remove fuel subsidy, you are borrowing money. Instead of you to tell us, this is the amount we have been able to save, by doing that. As we speak now, that is to say, Nigeria have nothing. The money they are borrowing, what are they using it for again in the first place? Those are questions must always come. Question must come. Okay, for example, what people used to say, they would say, okay, if we were to be Atiku said he's still going to remove fuel subsidy. Uh, Obi said he's going to remove fuel subsidy. Fine, they said so. But why did you remove it so sudden on that very day? And you did not put anything in place to caution the effect of that action you have taken. That is another one. Now, if somebody want to, I'm just talking of fuel subsidy, which is not the topic, but I just want to analyze some issue and bring it back where we are. Now, if you want to remove fuel subsidy, for example, if you want to be a good leader, you should be able to have announced to Nigeria, this fuel subsidy I am removing today or I have removed today. Nigeria is going to suffer it for 1 year, 1.5 years. There should be a date. Everybody should be looking onto that date that this suffering is going to end. Then after that date, everybody begin to, to feel, to begin to get the relief, that this government have done a very good thing. Since the very day, 2023 till today, price of things are going still higher till this very moment. And where are we going? Where are we coming from? Where are we going? Where are we heading to?
Yes,
Where is
Mr.
the
Good.
money? Are they sharing the money? Where are they keeping this money? Where is it? That
There's
is
a
the
trending
question.
video. There's a trending video where the Dangote, Aliko Dangote, alleged that the Nigerian government is no more uh, selling crude to him. Rather, he has to import crude from the United States of America to be able to process in Nigeria and sell to Nigerians. I mean, since I watched the video, I've not been able to reconcile it to myself, as in the rationale behind an oil producing country that has a refinery now importing crude from another country. I find it hard to understand. What can you respond to this, please?
Well, I am not into oil and gas anyway, but our friend, our brothers have said something before. We heard about motor or what have you, refinery and all those things they are doing. I don't know I don't know the shenanigans this set of people are really playing out on Nigerians. We have oil here. Why are they still going out there to import crude? That is, it's like as if every one of us don't even know. Like they are looking at us as we are not, maybe we are not wise, or I don't know how they are looking at Nigerians. Do they think we are dull, or we don't know what is going on in this present government? Do they want to become the richest people in the world with these actions of this action and inaction? My brother, see, let me tell you, when you see a good government, nobody will tell you. Government of the people, when you see it, nobody will tell you. You'll be able to know. Most of us that have cars, that are using vehicles, most of us have parked vehicles for long. Most of us are taking bike out, which there is a car at home. To be able to fuel all these things, to feed the family, to pay for children's school fees, and all of that. Most parents can no longer cope, and you are there. You have not settled those issues. You have not settled issue of insecurity. You have not settled all of these issues. None of them you have handled. No single one. I can be boast of that. This government have done. Is it Lagos Calabar Coastal Road? Or which
Yes,
one?
in respect to Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, he
Yes.
was making further requests for over $400 million to enable him complete Lagos-Calabar Expressway, having been granted $21 billion loan. He is now making additional requests.
See, my brother, they are playing on our intelligence. That is all I can say. They thought we are fools, and we are seeing all these things. The record are there. So now,
Nigerians are just too docile. If not for docility, I wonder group of human beings that will assemble in a country like as big as Nigeria and will not be able to ask fundamental questions, take over the streets in protests. I mean, human people are dropping dead. Many Nigerians are developing cancer.
My brother, let me tell you, there's no two ways about it. The way out from these problems Nigeria is facing today is to eradicate corruption from this country. It is the corruption that is, corruption that is in this country, that people, anybody that have committed one crime or the other, running down to APC as a soft landing place where nobody will now talk about it again. That is the Nigeria we are. If there is a law, that is why I'm saying, and that is the reason most of the youth want to go to the parliament. If there is a law that anybody that embezzle Nigeria fund should be executed, there's no need putting them in jail. They should be executed, or all his or her property should be seized, and then send that person to life imprisonment. If there is a law like that, do you think anybody will do all these things they are doing?
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Edebe Sunday, and it is on this sentiment that we should, as voters or supporters, begin to request for the mandates of those we are campaigning for. They should be able to establish the clarity. If they say they want to fight corruption, they should be able to tell Nigerians how they want to go about it. Execution is not a new way of fighting corruption. China has been doing it, they've been practicing it, and fellow other Asian countries too, they have been involving in execution, public execution of criminals or corrupt political officials. So if Nigeria as a country can toe that route, there's nothing wrong about it. There should be execution. Enough of prison terms where we are not even sure if they are serving the jail term. How many Nigerian politicians, for instance, have been prosecuted successfully and put behind bars for cases of corruption? The EFCC that is saddled with the responsibility of following up on corrupt officials, they will be distracted with Yahoo, chasing after Yahoo boys and collecting their own part of the share. So it behoves on the masses to be able to make this bold request. If we all can stand united and say the only candidate we are going to vote for is the candidate that stands for public execution of public officials, I think it will go a long way. What do you think about that?
Yes, my brother, I will say that is the best way to go. That is the best way to go. I will not say much. I understand all your analysis, and that is how it should be for Nigeria to move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Edebe Sunday. Do we have other contributions, please? If you are joining us on Zoom, you have the liberty to make your contribution. If you are joining us offline, probably you are listening, you are watching us via YouTube, you can make a contribution by calling in this number 08062 557980. Again, 08062 557980. So if we have your call, we are going to respond to you. So you can have your contribution on this topic of the day. Tinubu is successfully sinking Nigeria into multidimensional debt crisis. And each debt, the further the loan, the further the problem, because there are stringent conditions attached to this loan. It will be surprising for you to read some of the terms and conditions of this loan. Some of them have to do with direct negative consequences on our own agricultural production. When you see terrorism across Nigeria, it's not for any other reason. It's not strange, as in these are foreign interests trying to take over what belongs to Nigerian people, trying to take over the African resources through manipulation, through puppets. When we say puppets, puppets are people whom they know have no capacity to win election in a free, fair, and credible election. So they bring them in through the back door and support them, give them all the necessary support that they need to remain in office. Then the job of the puppet becomes very simple. There's no attachment with the people, we have no affiliation with the people, we have no any form of empathy for the people he's ruling. Rather, he sits in Aso Rock and he exercises the powers of the sitting president whichever way he wants, knowing fully well that he has no any social contracts with the people he's leading. It is on this basis we are encouraging the Nigerian masses to be able to take up their rights through constitutional means. If you are a young Nigerian, you are below 40, you are below 50, you are below 30, you are below 20, just know that you have a country to fight for, which is Nigeria. Nigeria is a beautiful country, but ruled by the demonic forces of this world. If you are looking for a very wicked politician, come to Nigeria. Nigeria is a country where you have representatives that don't visit their constituency. Nigeria is a country where street lights have been budgeted for over 226.25 million naira per street light. Is uncalled for. And what is the economic value of a street light to the average life of Nigerian people? This is where we get it wrong. This is just a one example out of many others. The Senate that is supposed to stand for a clear opposition, a clear impact on the government of the day, ensuring that the government of the day is able to do that which he has promised the people, is able to bring about the welfareism first of the Nigerian people. But the same Senate is singing on a mandate to stand. So wherever Tinubu swing, they swing. If he's standing, they are standing. If he's sleeping, they are sleeping. It's unfortunate. We look up to a country where the citizens should become very active and involved in the chain of decision-making process. And that's why we're encouraging that young people get involved politically. You cannot sit back, if you like, to pray from now to the next 100 years. That will not change the iota in the minds of the Nigerian political class. The young people must get involved. You want to speak, please, on it and speak. Thank you.
Just advice to the Nigerians. You see, this time is not the time to begin to sit on the fence. Everybody should rise up and take back their country. This country, Nigeria, belongs to all of us. We must get it right. And more so, the Nigerians, most especially the youth, should distance themselves from money politics. If you collect money from a politician, definitely you are supporting that politician. And when they get into power, that money you've collected, be it 1 million naira, cannot solve your problem. Can never solve your problem. So why are you collecting money from politicians? Let them keep their money. do the right thing, to get it right, to take this country from the rascals, to take this country from the motor park politicians,
Yes,
and do the right things and let us get there. That is my
yes.
advice.
It is on this basis that COPDEM, Coalition for the Protection of Democracy, have been rallying the youth, the young Nigerian people, to get involved politically by joining the ADC Directorate of Mobilization and Civil Society Progressive Engagement. Is a directorate under the ADC that is fully focused on galvanizing the young people into ADC so that they can have their input on what becomes of the ADC. You can't sit on the fence and expect that everything will be done right. You must get involved through your words, join the ADC through the Directorate of Mobilization. If you want to join the ADC across the states, in any part of the country you are, you can join and become part of the Directorate by simply sending a DM and you will be added. So the ADC Directorate of Mobilization, championed by COPDEM, has been doing marvelously well. All state structures are fixed. All LGA structures, currently over 70% have been fixed. And we are now taking it down to the ward structure. So that is how far the Directorate of Mobilization have gone for the ADC. And young people are encouraged to get involved in the building of your country, get involved in everything that has to do with the New Nigerian projects. The New Nigeria cannot just be possible without your involvement. Sitting on the fence and expecting miracle to happen, it will never come to pass. Let us all get involved in this process and see how we can build a new Nigeria of our dream. You still want to have contribution? Those that are just joining us, you're welcome. This is COPDEM People's Parliament, where we have a day-to-day discussion on happenings across the country. Trending topics have been discussed, and everyone have equal opportunity of having a contribution in this program. For those who are just joining us, I believe you will have seen the topic of the day. We are looking at how people have successfully sunk Nigeria in multidimensional debt. What is your take on that? Do you have any contributor? You want to speak? All right. I think we are almost coming close to the end of the show. It's usually a 1 hour, it's usually a 45 minutes program where we give people the opportunity to make contribution on this national issue. Mr. Davidson, please, we have 4 topics for the day, including the episode. Have we done justice to all? It's like one of them is still skipping. Can you look at it, please?
No, the 4 they are complete. The 4 is complete here. Number 4 is.
Have we treated all the 4?
No, we are only treating 1 6. I think.
Are you
we
serious?
have not touched.
Can do justice to it.
We have not touched number 2, which Akpabio bullies Natasha through federal might.
Yes. Akpabio, Natasha has been on the news. She tried to resume her legislative duty to represent the good people of Kogi State. Again, Akpabio used his federal might to stop her from gaining entrance into the National Assembly. The court of the land has directed that she be given opportunity to get back to her seat and perform her role as a legislator. But Akpabio said no. You can see how lawmakers have become lawbreakers. Akpabio has become so embarrassing that the #1 lawmaker in the country cannot respect the rule of law, cannot respect court order. Tell me, try to make this make sense to me. So it therefore means Akpabio has become the law. That's what it implies. That out of the over 94 senators seated at the National Assembly, just 4 are women. And out of the 4 women, 1 is being bullied. Akpabio, throughout the investigation and disciplinary action that was met on Senator Natasha, Akpabio was the one sitting, being the judge in his own matter. That is very, very shameful. This cannot happen in any part of a civilized society. Ordinarily, Akpabio was expected to have tendered his resignation to give room for credible investigation. How can you be a judge in your own matter? And look at the process to which Senator Natasha was suspended. What Akpabio implemented or approved, stamped, was against the overwhelming votes of the senators. Of course, the Constitution is very clear. They are not even supposed to abuse voice vote for such a critical matter involving suspension of a senator. They ought to have used signature. Each senator ought to have signed to that effect before that such suspension can take place. And the duration, 6 months, is another gross disrespect for the rule of law. There is no provision that grants 6 months suspension to any senator. Because in the eyes of the law, the constituency will be out of the scheme of things if they are not represented. That is why it does not go beyond 2 weeks. So these are some of the atrocities that have been committed by Senator Godswill Akpabio, who I also learned that Senator Natasha international passport was seized by the immigration service in an attempt to be able to travel out of the country. You deprive her of her constitutional right to access fair hearing. You deny her from performing her role as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You also seize her international passport. I mean, how else do you want to do you want her to fare as a lady and as a woman who have responsibility and a responsibility to perform to her people? The constituents, the entire constituents of Kogi Central that she is supposed to represent now is absent in the scheme of things. So who is taking decision for that constituency at the National Assembly? This remains the question in the minds of many Nigerians, and it is very, very, very uncalled for. Now, the same Akpabio that refused to honor or respect court order, how can the same Akpabio not stand to implement or make law for Nigerians? Well, until we have the response of the people in this regard, where the people have to decide that this crop of politicians that will present them in the foreseeable future, nothing really good is going to change from what we are experiencing in this country. We have a repeat of breakdown of law and order in this country. Lawmakers are being the lawbreakers, and this cannot continue like this. Until I come away another day, we are wrapping up the program. If you have a contribution to make on some of the trendy stories that we have so raised, please you still have like 2-3 minutes to make your contribution. Do we have further contribution on this subject matter?
Okay, let me come in here. You see, Mr. Due Process, let me ask you, if the court of COPDEM now ask I and you to do one thing or the other as a ruling, and we refuse to do it, what do you think is going to happen? They will come after us and arrest us because we disobey the courts. What am I trying to say? The law does not work for those people up there. That is the part of corruption we are talking about. In the number one episode here, we talked of corruption, the money they are borrowing and all of that. Where are they using it for? Now, this issue of Senator Natasha now, court have asked her to go and resume her duty. And you are still blocking her. That means that is you can see that the country is not working. In every area, every sector, nothing is working in this country as we speak. Sometimes I will think of Nigeria, I'll begin to shed tears. Now you deny her. Who is now representing the Kogi Central? Nobody. That is wickedness. And the president is there. Is he not hearing all these things that is happening? Is he not seeing it, watching it in the television? Can he call them to order? Those are the questions people will continue to ask. My brother, you can see that things are not working.
You know,
See,
when the head is cut off, the body becomes so useless. The head of Nigeria, the president, has failed himself, failed the people of Nigeria, failed any form of reputation he may have acquired for himself over the years. I see what is currently happening in Nigeria is not a democracy. Even garage boys cannot have what is happening in Nigeria and call it a democracy. You and I in this country, a sitting governor was removed. Not for any other reason. On ground that he should settle with his godfather. The sitting governor.
The city governor. Let me tell you. See, my brother, for the fact that Senator Natasha is a female, it doesn't make her less human being. It doesn't make her less human being. They should not treat her like this, the way they are doing. That is why I keep emphasizing on gender equality. You must give women a chance. You must not treat them this way. And the court have said, okay, go and resume your duty. And you are still blocking her. This is uncalled for. It's very sad, my brother. You know, let's tell ourselves the truth. It's not good. What is not good? It's not good. People should adjust themselves. They should respect the law if they want this country to work. Not for the law working for only me and you. You can see where we are. That is corruption. Corruption all around, all around. Corruption number one is corruption that is taking over everywhere in this country. That's why nothing is working. That is the truth.
The massive corruption, the massive looting that is taking place under the administration is unimaginable. Until we get to the new Nigeria of our dream, where proper investigation will be carried out on these shenanigans, Nigerians will never realize the magnitude of corruption that is taking place under the Tinubu-led administration. Mr. Peter used to make an analogy that you cannot come in through the window and pretend to be cleaning the room. A thief only enters the house through the window to thief, to steal, to destroy, and to kill. You can see the number of Nigerians that are being killed on a daily basis. The only crime that those Nigerians have committed is for being peaceful Nigerians. Those who have joined terrorism, those who have joined criminality, those who have joined kidnapping gangs, the government is expecting them, even sewing special uniform for them under the guise of repentant Boko Haram. But you and I that are peaceful on the streets, the Nigerian government have no regard. They look down on us and they maltreat and trample on Nigerians. These shenanigans, the only way out. If you and I don't want us to come to this studio and be lamenting after 2027, the only way out is to ensure that we are all fully involved on the roadmap to the new Nigerian project. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of tonight's program. Until I come your way next week, because our program runs from Mondays to Thursday, 7 p.m. Until I come your way next week, do have a very, very pleasant Friday, a very pleasant weekend, and stay safe. Mr. David Sunday, all the way from Kwara State.
Before we go, number 3 and number 4, we bring it back on Monday. I'm interested in those two.
All right.
Number 3 and number 4, the ADC Directorate of Mobilization and Obi Tamba. You bring it back on Monday, please. Let's talk on it.
Yes, we were able to touch on Obi Tamba and we touch on the ADC Directorate of Mobilization. Of course, it will be a recurring topic because of the urgency and the need for it. Obi Tamba ticket, I think, will be the best for Nigerian people, because these are two individuals that have distinguished themselves respectively. And it would be a good thing to have such the humanistic faith, a ticket that have the human look, so to say. And that ticket, I believe, will fly if given the necessary backup by the people of Nigeria. And we expect the coalition to be able to think right, act smart, because time is of the essence. Nigerians are running out of patience. We cannot wait forever. Nigerians want the best to happen very, very shortly, because the Tinubu-led administration, they are continually and perpetually destroying what remains of the Nigerian people. We will come your way again on Monday. You have a pleasant weekend ahead, and good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Yes.
Good night.
All right, good night. You can even hear our voice tonight, Grace.
Sorry, I was on transit. Good evening, everybody.
I was expecting you to say something. It's like
sorry, I just dropped now. I'm still on my way home. I just dropped from car now. So I'm not yet home. That was why I didn't talk, but the discussion was great.
I trust you.
No problem.
All right.
We'll hear from you another time. Do have a lovely night.
All right. Thank you.